All right, what's going on, everybody? So this is the Mage Wars 2021 Summer Tournament. This is with the new playtesting cards. I'm Koshade, and we have joining us here today Power of the Mind, of Mind. What
Hello,
up, Power?
hello.
And Jason, Sir Jason Crage. How's it going?
Hello there, having a nice chill day.
Nice, nice. And we are doing this live on Twitch, so we are going to get commentary from anybody that really wants to join, but also people typing in. So this is a game that actually Power played against Red Dice.
Yeah,
Um,
it was an awesome game.
well, heck yeah, I love awesome games for tournaments. Power, this is your second tournament, I think.
Yeah, I've
Right?
been part of the community for a while, but this is the second tournament I've been part of.
Well, I'm happy to hear your thoughts as we go through this game, and I hope you don't mind Jason and I completely ripping into your strategy and making
Oh
fun of
yeah,
you.
yeah, tear me a new one. Be completely ruthless. Tell me how bad I am. I love it.
um, for anyone here that's watching on YouTube, fun. This is a really fun game, and I hope you know that we're all sportsmen like here, and people generally do want to get better when we do give advice, things like that. So in the bottom right, we do have, it looks like, Red Dice playing the Beastmaster.
I don't think so.
No, no, absolutely not. These are reversed. Playing the Straywood, top left, Red Dice playing a very classic mage that we see in Red Dice in tournaments as the Paladin. Opening moves, um, a Straywood Scout, Red Dice, putting down the Guardian Angel. Power Mind putting down a Falcon. Are we going to see a pet? We do see a pet. And then a Battleforge for Red Dice. Really clean opening for both sides. Not seeing any economy out of Power, but this is also one of those, okay, it's pretty aggressive. Getting a +1, that means lots of creatures could do something. Whereas Red Dice playing super defensive, Guardian Angel probably being one of the most defensive creatures in the game. And of course, the Battleforge casting a Leather. This is probably the correct response when you start seeing no economy, is just armoring up and being defensive. Guess we'll have to see how that works out, though. Straywood Scout. We're at ×2, by the way. I will slow it down if we want more commentary.
I mean,
Straywood
it's
Scout.
it's a bit hard for me to comment anyway because you're like I'm watching your stream. That's my only visual I have of the
Yeah.
game, and you're like 3 seconds ahead
Oh yeah.
from your talking and from what I see. So
Why
you'd
don't
either have to stream your screen in Discord, so we have it
I am going
live.
to do that right now? Yeah.
Then I also don't get the whole passive aggressive Twitch thing about my ad blocker.
Yeah. If you want to watch, I shared the screen on the Discord, so it's
Yeah,
probably
man.
way easier for you. um,
I mean, that way the quality is a bit lower and I can't read the cards, but I think I know the text anyway.
if you want to go over any cards, we can. So we see the Rajan's Fury, and this looks like a build that I absolutely love. Maybe a little bit of slinging action here.
I have seen the book.
Oh,
I
you have.
have played against the book. And I've played a paladin against this book.
Yeah,
Actually,
the
I
played against in our tournament game. However, I have because of that game, I had to improve it a bunch because I was like, I don't know how to deal with Paladin with the current version of this book, and I know Red also plays Paladin, so I had to make some improvements.
yeah, we're watching the sequel first and the prequel later. Whenever you are reviewing my game against Power of Mind. So there's that. This is the improved book, the one where he's already made some experiences against the paladin, and he might have also gotten some advice from me on things that would have disturbed my game plan, and we'll see if we're gonna see some of that.
Now, as someone that has played Beast Slinger, as I coined this type of Beastmaster, a lot, you have some interesting opening moves that I usually don't do. That being said, I don't think it's bad.
So my goal here with this opening was I wanted to have on turn 4, I wanted to have the most amount of options of things I could do to deal with many different scenarios, while not at the same time I didn't want to hurt how much damage I could do. So basically, the scout, for instance, gives me 2 more mana on turn 4 over the extra fury, and it basically does the same thing for the book. And that 2 extra mana on turn 4 is huge because it allows me to get a whole rust out if I need to. Basically, before I only would have three extra mana on turn 4. Now I have 5,
Yeah.
which is a huge difference for that turn.
Yeah, I actually really like that. Like, granted, you do have to spend his action every round, so they do get an extra chance to sort of react in that way. But I think you're right. Like, in terms of like saying, "Hey, let's rest instead," things like that for the 2 extra mana that you save. That's actually it's pretty big. Not to mention you do get a spellbook point, which is nice as well.
So the thing when we compare it to my game against Power is Power did not get a pet out because the
wow.
math was just so tight with
Mm-hmm.
playing 3 Rajan's Furies. And now that he's replaced one of the Rajan's Furies with the Scout, he actually does get the pet, which is what we see right here. The first Falcon was the pet. And I already think that's a huge improvement over what he played against me.
Yeah, yeah. So personally, when I look at Slinger, I actually don't play all my Falcons right away, only because I find that if you do have to go later game, you need them for pets. That being said, I totally think that playing the Falcons is legit. Um, Especially when you see a Guardian Angel, because you make it use its defense, and the other ones just come in and kill it. But the way that I sort of like look at saving mana is using like Bobcats and things like that, because they are like 2, I think 1 or 2 mana cheaper, and you still get the fast trait. That being said, like this is a really interesting take on the Slinger, and I actually really like watching this and seeing how it works out.
So I used to run the Bobcats. I used to run
Yeah.
4 of them on top of the 6 birds, and I
Yeah.
just felt that by the time I had to cast more creatures, they were too weak to make a difference.
Okay.
And I felt like the flying was just too important to pass up, at least in my matchups. So I have 4 cheetahs, and I use the cheetahs to pet them, and I rouse the
Ah.
beast, and I have like around turn 7 or 8, I'll cast the ring of the beast slinger, the beastmaster ring, so I am able to cast the cheetah and rouse the beast in the same turn.
Yeah, I haven't actually tried the cheetahs now that they are more usable than the old cheetah. So I actually imagine the cheetahs are really good in this because they're minor now, and that's actually a pretty big deal in terms of what you can enchant them with and stuff.
I love the change to the cheetahs. I mean, I got
Yeah.
some actual paper cheetahs in my box on my shelf, and I've never used them. I mean, I've used them once or twice.
Hmm.
I've always tried to make a cat book around Makunda, but the cheetah was always so squishy, and it
Yes.
only got one charge attack off, and then you had to make it elusive or manipulate in some other way. So the cheetah was always weird to use. Now that it's so cheap, I actually think it's a good card.
Yeah, and its ability can actually proc instead of having to like run it out and get two spaces to charge and stuff.
Yep.
Um, so turn 3, are we going to see more Falcons then? Yeah, I mean the Falcon plays. I really like Falcons in this book, and obviously every time now you play another Rajan's Fury, all of these birds are going to get a +1. That's insane value when you think about it. Um, Shark says pet snakes. Actually, just snakes in general are pretty fun in this too, because you get one good charge, and then they feel like they have to stay in the zone. Otherwise, that snake is gonna just keep hitting stuff. Looks like Red Dice is gonna go and get Gauntlets of Strength. Interesting. Did he hardcast that one? He did. So these enchantments on the Guardian Angel and Red Dice, um, interesting plays. They could be something as simple as like Bear Strength to try and one shot these Falcons. They could be things like oh, what is that? Divine, not protection. The reversal. That's it. That blocks 2 damage and deals 2. That would also be really valid in this book. To be able to just you get 2 damage. It has 5. You counter with 3 dice or something like that. Um, So I'd be a little weary if I were Power, but the core strategy of this kind of book is really you look at these creatures as attack spells, and if they do die, it's not that big of a deal because you got so much value out of each guy.
So again, this is where you're gonna see my opening come in handy, I believe, because you're gonna see the extra mana I have because of the scout
Mhm.
come in handy on this turn.
Well, heck yeah.
But what do you think of the Guardian Angel by Red?
I would. So there's a big decision when you play this type of build. Well, actually, there's only economy of a Battleforge, so
Like I
so
feel like Knight would have been way better instead of the Guardian Angel.
yeah, he
It
played it.
actually would have one-shotted birds. It does the same thing. Sure, if the Guardian Angel isn't guarding, then it would stop my birds from having free reign. But then if it's not guarding, I can ignore it.
Yeah, he played it turn 1, so obviously he didn't play this as a reaction card. And I don't think turn 1 Guardian Angel against a Straywood is good. There's just
I can
not
understand. I can understand the turn 1 Guardian Angel if you're playing against a Warlock, or
Really...
I don't know,
Yes.
if you're playing against someone who's known for throwing boulders with his Warlords or something like that. Then I understand the Guardian Angel. Or kind of like I'd understand it on turn 2 if your opponent did a double move, something like that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
But as a fixed turn 1 opener, I'm not a fan.
Like knowing that I'm Beastmaster, and also in all my tournament games, I play Beastlinger. Like this is the book I always play, and I know he's seen games I play this book. Sure, not this version, but like it felt like it should have been obvious that he knew what I was doing. So I don't know if I agree with what he tried to do to offset Beastlinger.
Yeah, I mean, Guardian Angels are just really good creatures, but this is probably one of the better counters to it. Because you only get 1 defense, and you're getting so much dice. It's just going to die, and at least if he did, the Westlock Knight, he would have most likely killed something, and then also gotten a defense, and then that 3 armor blocks more. Honestly, I think it's turn 4 now. I really think red dice should be casting more creatures. Because casting creatures, I think, is how you survive against this. Because you guard, you block, you try to do those sorts of things. That, or I would love to see Luminous Blast right now out of red dice. Just because that counters the Falcons really well. Because you got to think every Falcon you kill is going to be at least 5 dice right now. If you play more Radiant's Furies, it's extra dice on top of that. Radiant Breastplate, this is also a really good choice from red. Because the ability to just get more counter strikes is good. Not to mention the armor. But yeah, I really agree. Just Guardian Angel turn 1. I'm not a fan either.
Have you ever used that other armor, the one with the spikes and the bleeds?
Oh yes, absolutely. It's an amazing it's an amazing armor. It's 7 mana, I think it's level 2, and it gives you 2 armor and a 1 die damage barrier. 7 up bleed? I think it is.
I'm not sure. I've never used it.
Honestly,
Because
it's okay. It's not the best.
because I also play the Demon Hide armor on my Warlocks.
Mm.
So I know how good it can be to have a damage barrier.
Yeah, damage barriers in this game are underrated. In my
Yep.
opinion.
But that was back in my solo mage days, where I also had an Idol of Pestilence. So the creatures that got damage from my Demon Hide actually got follow-up damage and died.
That's awesome.
I wanted to separate my birds here in case he had a zone attack to try to kill the birds as fast as possible. So I separated them.
Oh, I've seen paladins play the Firestorm, so that's actually a good call.
Yeah, Firestorm was what I was thinking that he might have, and it would have been a really good play. So, or even Well, he can't
Absolutely.
bring a fire in that zone, but still.
I mean, honestly, Ring of Fire with the Guardian Angel isn't that big of a deal. You know, it has Aegis 1, it heals by just guarding. I wouldn't have minded that. I think, honestly, like a Pillar next round quick cast is actually a really good play because it forces you to stay in there or to take little bits of damage. Ooh, and the Tanglevine. Very nice Tanglevine.
Very nice Tanglevine.
Yeah, you're setting this up so next round you can just dish out the damage.
And on top of that, it's the Guardian Angel. Unless that's the Bear Strength, it's not going to get through that Tanglevine easily.
Yes. Tanglevine counters Guardian decently. Like, you kind of need other things to just whack at it. Can you going in for the, let's see, 4, 5, 6 die attack? 6?
Red Dice doesn't have enough mana here, does he?
7.
Because I'm fairly sure he's going to get out a Knight of Westlock, and then he can't guard for 2 mana because that's 15, and he can't use his
Yep.
second card.
Yep. It's 7, yeah, because the straight wood. Getting
Oh,
8
that's a
damage.
sweet roll.
Oh, man. That's some damage for sure. 4 die counter. And against the pet, that's probably the best creature you want to have a counter strike against. Just because that
Yeah,
one
that's
armor.
why I used it.
Oh, yeah.
That was exactly his problem against me. Against me, if we're going to do the game right after that to see the comparison, there was one turn where he didn't dare attack at all because I was guarding with a Knight of Westlock. And
Yeah.
since he had no pet falcon, there was no falcon he was willing to sacrifice. So this right here is actually a big improvement compared to the other game. There's another Westlock. So that's 3 mana left, and he's not guarding. Thought so.
Ooh, okay. I mean,
Depending on what the second card is, I would have probably even dropped the second card and guarded again.
yeah. I mean,
Just to get damage out onto the falcons.
honestly, man, yeah, using that armor would be nice.
Okay, with that roll.
Of course, you roll 0 on 6 dice. This is what happens a lot against rushes, or when you play rush. You just kind of got to deal with it and move on. Val's gonna enchant himself.
Yeah, overall, between the two birds, I pretty much did average damage. One way
Yeah.
above and one 0, so
Oh, yeah.
overall, the both birds did 8 damage. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I would not scoff at that. I mean, you rolled, I think it was 13 dice total. Totally fine. And that was a really nice play with the Tanglevine, because this just sort of lets you eke in these creatures, kind of test the waters and see what he's doing. And the question is, do you commit all 4 of these next round?
No,
Say yes.
I am certain he is going to have a zone attack in my planning phase, so I know I don't want to put all 4 into the zone. And I try my best to do so.
That's fair. Yeah, I almost feel like if you... Let's see, you have 10 mana. Yeah, I mean, honestly, supporting these guys is really nice, or even attacking with them and having a force push and then letting the other guys go in, just to keep it separated would be really nice. If I were Red Dice, I would really consider a Pillar right now. And then saving your main action. Let's see, how much is Pillar? Is it 6 or 7? I forget how much it is right now. I don't know. Ideally, you have enough for a teleport, though. Sharkbait. I prefer Knight of Westlock turn 1. Yeah, I mean, I think if you're going to play a creature early and not go economy, I think Knight of Westlock's just better in the Straywood matchup, for sure.
But then you can't afford the Forge, which is probably the thought behind it.
And yeah, honestly, like, when it comes to casting creatures turn 1, I'm really not a big fan of creatures turn 1. But I kind of get why he did it, but you're right. That's why he did it overnight, is to get the Forge out. I mean, I think Forge Mana Crystal with this kind of opening would actually be really good for red.
Like if he did say Crystal and the Forge, turn 2 Knight of Westlock, and would that give him enough mana to put down a Ballista too? Because Ballista would definitely be annoying as well.
Nope, wouldn't.
It wouldn't.
Honestly, when they're going Beastlinger, you really have to fear turn 3 to start seeing any sort of aggression. And even then, it's only going to be like 1 or 2 birds. So I think having a Knight of Westlock, Knight of Westlock turn 2 in your corner, and letting that delay that little extra turn to get to turn 4, and then Ballista turn 4, I could see. Like, whatever your initiative lines up in. I think it's probably the best way. The thing is, Ballista tends to die pretty fast against charges.
It does.
No.
It does for sure. Now, it's gonna be an ongoing thing that you're gonna see if you're looking at the chat. Is I'm not used to using the scout. I've never used it. It was brand new to the book.
Yeah.
And because it was just a new strategy I thought of, because I thought there was maybe a rare chance that Red would think I wouldn't go with a Beastlinger, even though I'm pretty famous for doing so. So I'm like, maybe he thinks I'm not gonna do it. So maybe the going a pet bird and the scout makes him think I'm not going Beastlinger. And
That's an early deathlock.
it is an early deathlock for sure. However,
Interesting deathlock play.
it forces him to either go to it, or it makes it that the damage I have sticks.
Yeah, my rushes also go for an early deathlock. I mean, you've
I like
seen
it.
my Bundeslinger.
What? You rolled 9 on this.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, I had a lot of really low rolls and a lot of really high rolls. It was like I rolled even overall, like give or take even, plus or minus like 5.
You know, I think deathlock, this is the right call, only because you're about to deal a lot of damage. It's going to be his initiative next round.
Yeah, I love it.
Maybe
Especially against the Holy Mage.
Would I have casted first quick cast? Actually, yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, if he chose to heal, I don't know if it's the worst thing in first quick cast phase. I mean, honestly, you're so far ahead right now. I'm curious how he's going to make a comeback. I could see, like, a zone attack or that pillar to really stop you. But, like, every time you're moving in and out, that pillar should be trying to kill the right thing. You know what I mean?
You think he's far ahead right now? I think
Well,
this is a completely even bot state. I'd play this with both sides, except I don't like the angel. But other than that,
well, he's taking an additional, what is it? He's going to take 12 more dice in 2 attacks.
what did he do with a knight?
He attacked the Tanglevine.
That's a mistake.
Yep.
Don't
Now
like
I
that
might have
at all.
made a
Oh, wow.
mistake
It
and
rolled
not
8?
use the scout.
No.
I think I probably should have used the scout earlier. Again, I'm not used to using the scout, but I was worried that the knight was going to attack or was going to guard. So I wanted to get as much dice onto the paladin as fast as possible.
So what I would do is use that scout turn 1 and just prep a force push. Or teleport. I mean, honestly, like, it's not that big of a deal, and if he chooses to move his mage, then you put him in a better spot away from your deathlock. Or just move the mage, of course.
To not cluster the birds, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or more Tanglevines. I mean, that knight rolled decently well against that Tanglevine, but honestly, it would have killed it most likely anyway.
Yeah, this is where I move up because I don't want to put the bird into the zone because I'm pretty sure he's saving his action for his zone attack.
Yeah, it does feel like that.
Shark is saying real mage's deathlock turn 1.
Set the pace. Oh yeah, there you go. Ring of Fire. Very cool play. This is
nice.
Really nice.
I actually did play a deathlock turn 1 once. Because I knew my opponent was going to play Aaron.
Oh, that's mean. Let's get 2 burns in that Falcon. This is most likely a dead Falcon.
Yep.
I gotta say, Power, I'm really liking this book so far.
Wait, he didn't auto it?
He didn't.
Man.
Rolls really well against the pet.
Zone attacks work so smoothly automatic right now.
Yeah, they do, but it is what it is.
And this should kill these 2 Falcons, which it did. It rolled really well against the pet. That didn't kill it, but one little ping will. And how does he do against his own
Of
guys?
course, he rolls garbage against his own knight.
That's what you want to
That's
see.
That's a value Ring of
Oh,
Fire.
yeah. Oh, look at that roll. It should be yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
Did the Tanglevine drop yet? Is it still there?
Yeah, he spent both actions on it.
Yeah, he spent the Guardian and the Knight to kill the Vine.
He killed the Vine
He
killed
did.
it.
before using the Ring of Fire.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, can you put up the text on the Tanglevine?
Okay, it's all objects.
Yeah, on the Tanglevine.
Yeah. Oh.
Can you put up the text for the Tanglevine on Power
He
of Might
rolled, I
Scrapyard?
believe, exact damage.
No. Give me the image
Oh.
so we can read what a Tanglevine does.
I understand. I understand what you're doing here. Yes.
There's something here that people usually miss. So,
Flame plus
Tanglevine
2.
says ranged attack cannot target the Tanglevine, but zone attacks do not target.
They target.
So the Ring of Fire would have hit the Tanglevine.
Yep.
Red could have saved on an action if he used, if he just guarded with the Knight of Westlock for example, and then he would have gotten a 7 dice attack from his Ring of Fire onto the Tanglevine. One of the attacks he did, either from the Angel or from the Knight of Westlock, wasn't necessary.
That is
complete waste.
That is spot on. And, who knows, that Ring of Fire might have actually just taken out that Tanglevine. Most likely it wouldn't have, but it just has to get, one above? So it's not that unlikely.
It could even one-shot it, yeah, but he has to do some actions to bait the birds, and so he couldn't have just started with the Ring of Fire, so he has to delay it anyway. But still, he could have just gone on guard with the Knight, for example.
That's totally fair, yeah.
So that's a mistake I'm gonna call out. Ring of Fire hits Tanglevines.
Yeah, it's a really good thing to point out. And so just to further those rules, Ring of Fire targets the zone, and that's why it hits all objects in the zone. So there is no range targeting when you hit the Tanglevine with it. Just to be very specific about why that works. Looks like we have a counter-strike against a Falcon. Looks like that counter-strike is going to kill that Falcon.
Completely one-shot it. Real unfortunate.
He rolled 1 above on 4 dice, but it does happen. You got some nice damage, I think, out of it. What'd you get?
He rolled 2 above. He got 6 on 4 dice.
Yep. So, you only need 5 to kill it, but yeah, he rolled it to get 2.
You got him to 22 damage with a Deathlock on the board.
Honestly, a 5 mana or 6 mana creature getting that kind of damage through and then dying that isn't bad. And I think he had to have spent 2 mana to get that guard. Too.
It's if you compare it to what you expect from a 6 mana attack spell, it's fair, more than fair.
Oh my god! Thank you for the follow. What's going on, Python? How you doing? And 3 damage.
Wait, you don't have some special animation and sound for people who follow you?
I do, but not for recording YouTube. So, sorry guys. Sorry YouTube. You have to watch me play other games. And so that's a dead Falcon. It's probably gonna die with those burns anyway. So not unexpected. Another follow. What up, Jason Crage?
Hey there! I just thought I'd follow.
You could watch me play other games, like Mage Quit. Delirious with the follow. Are we all just following now? What up?
Yeah, I'm Delirious, by the way.
Yeah, you're good.
There's actually exactly 1 Twitch streamer I've subscribed to.
Keegan?
That's Keegan.
Oh yeah. I subbed to Keej too. We have definitely fought in Mage Quit a lot.
Yeah, I've seen some of your matches. They're really intense. I love it.
Mage Quit is.
Which one is the Mage Quit thing where you run around with a mage and you have those attacks? That
you pick the spells out of like a big category or pool, and then
there used to be a Warcraft 3 had lots of fun maps.
Oh yeah.
And there was one called Warlock, which is basically the same premise. You just walk around as mages. throw spells at each other, and then there's the Super Mario Smash Bros. Mechanic where every time you get hit, you get, let's call it lighter.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah,
fly
yeah.
faster with the next hit. Then there was lava around all the sides. So yeah, Mage Quit. It always looks interesting, but I never actually got it for myself.
Yeah, Shark actually
Maybe I
plays
will.
it. Shark plays it too, and we all play in Div 1, which is like the top div, and we all are versing each other, I think, this IGL season. So it'll be kind of fun to do that. Keej and I always go like best of sevens, always end up round 7. It's like insane how close we always are when we play.
So let's see.
Yeah, we have a vet
We're
belt coming
starting
up.
with a veteran's belt, which is still a very annoying card.
It is, and it's what I was expecting him to go. We're definitely in a position right now where it's definitely favored for him.
He does Luminous Blast. He gets a really low roll, but it's just enough to kill it.
Yep.
And I mean, it saves
Kick
him
his zip to
dice.
death.
Saves him dice, so I get why he did that.
I knew that he has to kill the bird in the first quick cast phase. I know he has to, or else just I'm gonna get more damage on him. So I pretty sure I'll be casting at least one creature this turn, trying to keep the board state up. And I know his goal is he's gonna want to try to
So
get to that Deathlock.
if we pause the game right here,
Mm-hmm.
I'd still say this is an even board state. Because
I
the
agree.
Beastmaster has nothing.
I have literally nothing right now.
He had like a lot of
And-
stuff to support creatures, but he doesn't have any creatures.
Yeah.
While the Paladin has a lot of damage that he can't heal right now, but he does have a Knight on the board and an Angel and a Forge. So I'd still consider this kind of an even board state, just comparing the value that's on the board.
I think the knight should have double moved towards the Deathlock personally instead of hitting me.
You don't have any armor. They're attacking something, a mage when he has no armor, is so much more value than attacking him later after removing some of the other stuff. It makes such a huge difference. So I get where you're coming from. From a defensive standpoint, yes, he should have killed the Deathlock, but right now he sees himself on the offensive because you do not have anything to threaten him with. And he probably thinks that whatever you play, he can either defend with the Guardian Angel, which doesn't have a job right now. There's nothing to defend the mage from, so the Guardian
That
Angel.
Guardian Angel, the entire game is useless. I can promise you that. I used almost every Tankle Bind I had to make sure that if that Guardian Angel would guard, it was useless.
That is how you counter them. Absolutely, yeah.
So if I was the Beastmaster right here, I would actually be hoping I brought enough meteorites
Yes.
to just finish those last 14 damage. But that's not what most people would. That's a late Ring of Beast.
Yeah, actually, I have very little in the form of attack spells. Very little. I have like 5 or 6. And none of them are big ones.
Most of my Beastmasters were low on attack spells as
Ooh.
well. I actually even played my Warlocks low on attack spells back in the day. So
I really like the cheetah play.
Yep, there they are.
Yeah, one of the big responses we got about cheetah was that it basically was unplayable because it used to be, I think, level 3, and it had like requirements for the charge to add to an effect, and it just kind of died early.
Only if you moved 2 zones with it, the
Yeah.
slam was improved. But the slam was guaranteed then, I think.
And
the old version had a guaranteed slam if you walked 2 zones with it.
And the idea of this, the way we buffed it, it's supposed to be the same cost as a Timberwolf, whereas Timberwolf is more of a backbone solid creature. This is an okay creature if you can get the requirements. It's definitely not the level of Timberwolf, but you can see how it's sort of why it costs 9. One of the probably the biggest advantages this creature has is if it does get the charge, and you're attacking a guardian creature, they get slammed, so that means they can't counterstrike. That's probably one of the biggest things, and of course it does have a defense, which is really nice.
And the other thing is that Cheetah is pretty weak if it can't charge. But then the scout gives them an extra die technically. Like even so, they still at least can do 3 dice.
Yeah, it's a really interesting creature at where it is right now, and I love seeing it in your Beastmaster here because this is kind of like a really cool scenario for him. And Makundo's obviously really good because it gives him piercing 2, or piercing 1, I think. But piercing as well. But like, yeah, this is kind of what you want to see, is something just chasing it down. I can't wait to watch this. So I do want to point out that I said earlier I love holding my falcons for later. This is actually the scenario of why. It's because oftentimes that first wave of creatures, whatever it is, they tend to just die. But it's those later creatures that come out that tend to do the damage, and having a fast flyer is so important. That being said, like, I love seeing the cheetah because it's also fast.
I value
sh-
the cheetah. I have more birds for sure.
I was just gonna
Oh,
say
yeah.
you have 6
Oh,
birds
yeah.
in there.
Yeah, you see,
I
probably have
value
at
the
least
cheetah
2 more.
because of the defense roll against the knight and against the book in general. I value the
Oh,
chance that it can survive longer than birds instead of being in one shot. So it means I have more chances to put pressure on the board. Because my goal right now is to regain my control of the board state,
I
adding more
love it.
creatures onto the board and trying to deny him
Yeah.
from taking control of the game. And in my opinion, even though the game is actually, in my opinion, he outside of the damage race, he has the board state lead by far. I still feel like I'm in control of the game, personally.
Yeah. This
That's
is this
that's
is oh, sorry, Jason, you can go.
that's how I'd put it as well. You're
Yeah.
still in control, but he has the better board state. Everything except for the damage on his mage is in his favor.
He's got
But
the
because he
monsters.
has that damage, it's you who's still on the trigger.
Yeah, and I hadn't really considered how Cheetah would interact with a Beastmaster like this, and I really like your analysis there, Power. I think it's really spot on. I'm gonna go ahead and just we're in deploy. I'm just gonna go ahead and just like go like times 25, let him get through the changing of cards out. There we go. Are we going to see a quick cast? No.
Actions phase. Now let's see how you activate that cheetah. Because you can't attack his mage this turn with it.
I could
You
see
would have
a
to
ballistic.
Tanglevine both of the creatures.
Yeah, I could see a ballistic coming out for red here. Like here or here. Probably here is the better choice. After this cheetah goes, because I feel like this round for power is going to be about setup. You could Panther Stealth actually. That'd be a pretty cool play.
Panther Stealth is elusive for minor creatures, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, that would work. That would actually be pretty cool.
I guess you might be waiting to see if the Paladin goes to the right one, because then you could just.
Yeah, I wanted
deploy.
to scout the knight because I wanted him to think I was going for it. I still hadn't decided what I wanted to do exactly, if I wanted to target the knight or not. And I wanted him to have the first action, even though it's my initiative. So I just used the scout onto the knight.
I like it. I like it. I like it. Makes him think something at least. The deceptive play. Ooh, he's gonna go down and guard. And this is where the cheetah gets cool, because if he does get
Yep.
past the defense and slam, there's no 5 dice counterattack. Even if you don't get the slam, you still have a defense, and that's so neat.
Yeah, I really disagree with him moving down. Like, I know his goal is to get to that deathlock,
Mm.
so I understand his thought process.
Oh, a second
But
cheetah.
yeah, I just disagree with it personally. I feel like him staying in that zone would have done a lot more for him.
Well, now
even if it was
you get the
just-
cheetah slam. Yeah, that's and he's already scouted, so that's interesting.
And the ring I have, you're gonna see it coming. Like the mana it saved me this turn is gonna come in handy.
Yeah, I actually really agree with the ring here, because you're
Didn't save you any mana yet.
any.
You paid 2 mana for the ring and it
No,
saved
no.
you 2
I mean,
mana.
like, it allows me to do a certain combo that you're gonna see this turn that I couldn't do without the ring. And I
Oh.
can do that combo every single turn because of the ring.
You're gonna wake up the other
I
cheetah?
see.
Yup.
Okay, yeah. So you're going for you save 1 mana and go for a what is it, rouse? Is that it?
Yeah, it's cool,
Rouse
but
the
it's,
beast.
but I still think it's such a late ring.
Well, I have to focus on being aggressive early to get the most damage down, and then
Yeah,
once
I
then I ring a beast just in entirely for the Cheetah Rouse. Cheetah
Yeah.
Rouse. Cheetah
Unfortunately,
Rouse.
unfortunately, Beastlinger, yeah, you really can't get economy and do what you're trying to do early.
Yep.
But I like this phase 2, where you're thinking Cheetah Rouse. That's like oftentimes in majors having plans like that, like it lets you have a base of saying I can do this now to finish off my early aggression. I think it's pretty neat. All right, we are going to see the Cheetah going against this Knight of Westlock. He does get a defense here.
Hey, you promised me the Guardian Angel would get Tanglewind. It's not Tanglewind right now.
Well,
We
it's,
do
it's
miss
not guarding
Mystic-
anything worthwhile right now.
Oh, you roll 8 damage against it, and you get a slam.
Yeah, the slam is irrelevant.
The slam means he doesn't get a 5 strike. Oh, he's dead.
Yes,
And it
even,
dies because of it. Yep.
Oh, he's dead.
even without the slam, it wouldn't get a color strike.
That was an insane hit. That's a game-changing hit right there. Like, recovering from that is going to be really tough for Red.
Yeah, I forgot I had to quick cast after my Cheetah, so I was like, oh wait, I wanted to quick
Yeah,
cast.
because you don't want your face to end.
Yeah. Again, this is a tournament. He didn't have to say that he was... Red Dice didn't have to agree to it, but really friendly community, like, just let him do it. You know what I mean? It'd be so lame to lose a game because you just, like, hit a go button. It wasn't even
It's
that big of a
also-
round.
because you have a planning phase.
Yeah.
You can basically prove that you wanted to do this.
Exactly, yeah.
It's not like you chose to do this during the turn because something shifted or something changed.
Mhm.
No, you had that card in planning phase. There's only one use case for it, and you just made a minor mistake that
It-
disables that.
Yeah, it just makes sense to be nice that way and be like, dude, just do it, you know? And the minute one player is a jerk, everyone will not let that player do their thing. I don't know. Looks like that Guardian Angel is going to attack by this Cheetah. Does defend. There is a defense back. The Cheetah does miss the defense, and it looks like 2 damage. 1 of that going to armor. So this Cheetah takes 1.
By the way, Shark agrees with that. That kill solidified the game.
Like the game was going this way regardless. That kills, yeah. Ballista does come out. Interesting positioning. So he can hit the Deathlock and this Rajan. Interesting he didn't put
Yes,
this in the
that
center.
he allows the charge onto the ballista.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, put in the center. Now you can hit everything that Power has.
I'm gonna
he
be
can't-
honest, that
And he can't
Ballista
hit the scout.
doesn't die the entire game.
Well, there may not be a point in killing it if you just like.
I was
take it to
thinking
the
about
left.
it, but I felt like going after it would allow him to just regain the hold he needed. I felt like going after it was just bad.
Mm,
I felt like I wanted to focus more on just trying to take, either kill him, go after his, all his armor and everything, or just kill his creature. And because I am assuming he has to summon another knight. In my opinion, not casting another knight is suicide. In my opinion.
You're absolutely correct in that. But still, when you're thinking about the ballista placement, there has to be a reason he puts it up there and not into his zone. Even if your major objective is not to kill the ballista, but actually to kill the mage and to keep the pressure up, which is absolutely correct, it's still surprising that he places it up there. Because he just gives you one more option
yeah.
that I don't see why he's doing it, especially because he can't hit the scout. The ballista can actually one-shot the scout. That's one thing I always think is weird about the ballista is that people play it. It shoots 5 dice at something that has like 8 HP or like that,
Mm.
and then that thing doesn't die. And it's in range for the ballista, but for nothing else. And then you don't hit that for 2 turns. And I always think the ballista is best used at something it can actually one-shot, and that's the scout right here. And the scout does the same thing as the Rajan's Furies.
I actually really agree with that. I mean, I think he's trying to kill the Deathlock here, and that's why he placed it in a. I'm not actually sure why he placed it up there.
Maybe he's afraid of a wall between the Deathlock and the ballista.
Ah, okay, yeah, I could see that actually.
That would actually be a valid explanation.
But I mean, even with the wall there, you could then kill the scout. Which I mean, I guess, okay. I see what you're saying here. Yeah, and I actually agree, but I really think like I agree with you. Killing the scout and killing the Rajan's Furies is just as valuable in a lot of ways, just because
I
less
feel like he could have
dice.
done everything that we're talking about, but just placing it below instead of on top. In the bottom
Yeah,
zone, he could have hit the scout still. He can still, even if I wall, which I wasn't planning to,
But he
no
can't.
matter
He
what.
can't. He can't place it in the bottom zone because there's already
Oh
a
wait,
Rajan
yeah, yeah,
Spirit there.
yeah,
so
you're right.
so by placing it in the top, we've basically confirmed Red Dice wants to kill Deathlock. It almost seems like that
Yep.
has to be what he's trying to do.
I mean, he might also target one of the cheetahs, which is, by the way, what
Yeah.
I would do and what I did do against Power of Mind. I just kept killing the creatures.
Yeah, because
But with I wasn't in a situation where I had a Deathlock and 2 damage, so both of them are like must-hit targets. He's really in a dilemma situation right now.
Yeah,
So,
the Vorpal Blade
would
comes
you
out.
use the ballista into the cheetah before trying to bait out the uh defense?
It always depends what the stronger attack is. If I have something that's stronger than the ballista, then yes, of course, I'm using the ballista for the defense and then the stronger attack. But it rarely happens that you have something stronger than the ballista. So
Yeah, I mean, I could see. I agree. Yeah, I mean, I could see if he wants to kill cheetahs using like his sword attack first, letting you use the defense, then ballista shooting it, and then maybe following it up with a luminous blast or something.
man, you also put him into a position where he can't really use the challenge because he always has
Yeah.
to keep in mind that the challenge is a double-edged sword
I
against 7 dice attacks. It is right now.
Yeah, because you never know when you're just going to be force pushed, and then he can re-roll an insane
Yep.
amount of dice. You know.
Which is also something you did against me, by the way. I mean, I'm known for actually using the paladin skills, but I did I use it at all, the challenge?
You used it on me, and I think that was it. To be
I love
honest,
it. Yes.
Yeah, because I can't use it on the damn birds.
Okay, we see the Deathlock going in, or the Ballista against the Deathlock. Rolls average, gets 5 dice, or damage against 9. That is most likely going to be a dead Deathlock. He has to just roll average here. Is he going to reveal anything?
But that's such a vulnerable position against the 2 cheetahs.
All right, it
so I'm
does
pretty
die.
sure my goal right now is I'm
hope he
pretty
has
sure
a
I need
heal
to
here.
lower his armor.
I hope he has a heal here.
He needs something to.
Oh, you're
I mean,
gonna see what
he has
does.
10 mana.
It's
That's enough for a
interesting.
9 mana heal.
You're gonna see what he does. It's
He's got a
quite
quick cast.
interesting.
I mean, he could. Divine Intervention. He could use Divine Reversal. Oh, he Divine Interventions. Okay. Oh, he did it to counter your enchantment. Ah, okay.
Countered the enchant, actually. That is so good.
So for anyone
Man,
that was really
I
smart.
always hate the divine
Insane.
intervention.
So for anyone
Walking into a divine intervention play, it always grinds my gears.
So this is the
I
only way you can counter.
used all his mana. I was like, wait, what? I can't believe he did that. I mean, my goal was to get rid of armor, so it was a poison blood. Okay, yeah. So my idea was I knew the Deathlock was gonna die that turn, so I just put the poison blood to make sure that he would still have the finite life.
Yeah, this is. Oh my god, I remember Divine Intervention used to be super popular, and it's so for anyone that doesn't know, it's basically the only counterspell in the game because you can reveal it in the middle of a spellcast. And if you move out of the targeting range during spellcasting, you can instantly counter that spell. So he spent 10 mana to get rid of an action from the Beastmaster, but he also got safe from this Deathlock. This is actually a really good play out of Red Dice, because now it lets him, heal up next round, and not, basically take this turn to be like, let me get some positioning. I really like it actually. Granted, these cheetahs are fast. And there's a
the cheetahs are gonna move into range. He still has a double move with his mage.
Divine Intervention, Vampirus
Personally, I've personally never played the Divine Intervention. I mean, I've played it once. That was one hell of a Timmy deck.
Yeah, it's
I
super
played
expensive.
Malakoda. I played Malakoda with a priestess and teleported to Malakoda on turn 2 before the upkeep phase. So the opponent got Malakoda's poison on turn 2.
That's awesome, actually.
Yeah, left me with 0 mana and nothing on the board except Malakoda, which the
Yeah.
opponent always walked away from. But it was still was a style move.
Okay, he's gonna hit your mage. Looks like because he has 0 armor, so he's like, let's get some damage.
Yep.
I mean, I guess he could have hindered the cheetahs. Yeah, that's what he's probably thinking about. Do I want to hinder the cheetahs or not? But either way, you're gonna be able to move 2 next round, and you're fast.
Okay, he's passing. Yeah, it's okay to pass here. I don't think it makes a difference. If you move 1 tile this turn and then 2 tiles next turn, it makes 0 difference. Might as well see what you're doing.
So I'm guessing red has a regrowth then on him to start the
I'm not
healing.
sure. I think there's a bear strength on him. And
A bear strength.
yeah, it might,
Okay, I can see that.
it might be a regrowth.
Oh, that's perfect that he passed. Because you're just gonna go here, I assume, with the cheetah. So
Yep.
that no matter what, he can't get away from one.
Yep, that's my idea. Oh, I
Yeah,
used-
the hit on that Knight of Westlock was brutal, but I think up until that point it was pretty balanced. Your
Yeah.
birds sometimes dealt a lot of damage and sometimes rolled 0. The Ring of Fire spared his creatures and completely eviscerated your swarm.
Yeah, like overall, my dice are still roughly even. It's just the dice that I rolled high were the ones I needed to.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Same for
how
him,
I would
actually.
describe this game.
There was a good chance this turn that he doesn't kill the Deathlock. And
Yeah.
then it's game over.
And
Then it's game over.
honestly, like getting a couple above, especially as you have all these creatures coming out and dealing dice, it's not really that big of a deal. In terms of like saying I won because of dice or not.
Like that's what Red said at first was it was because of dice, and I was like, I think I disagree with the dice being what decided the game.
I mean, the good dice roll in the very specific instance is like not saying the same thing as good dice rolls. You know what I mean? Like it's very different. Because that's the whole point of dice. Sometimes it hits really well, and sometimes it doesn't. I've definitely lost games where I should have won just because I've rolled under consistently.
Yeah, I had
and
to
I've-
forfeit a game last night. I was 15 dice below average,
Yeah.
and dude was 13 dice above average.
Oh yeah.
He one shot Dorceus with 7 dice, and I was like, I'm done. I give up. Like,
it happens,
he
those
he
games happen.
He cut down my. I was Bannerlord. He cut down Doris and
Man.
Erin, and I was like, yeah, I can't.
Oh yeah, I've definitely won games where it's just been like I should not have won this. Getting that's also why you take boulders and stuff like that. Just because there's always that random chance if you're clearly gonna lose and you roll like 10 damage against 5 armor or something like that, and win the game that way. Stuff like that is like always why you take those high damage attack spells.
Yep. Or you just take the big boulder.
the famous meteorite. That's when you roll the 10 crits, right?
That only happens if you're Jason.
We're gonna skip past this planning phase and get right to the action here. I think power, you have a really good advantage here. There is a regrowth on red dice, by the way, so it goes down to 20 out of 36. That being said, I think Jason could recover, or I'm sorry, Jason. Red dice could recover just because he does have that vet belt and good armor, and I'm really
The other
gonna have to deal with that. That's gonna be what makes the game just
Do
secure.
you have a Stranglevine in there?
Ooh.
Stranglevine, no. But the other problem is my book. It has 1 Deathlock and 1 Poison Blood, and that's it. Because I figured they're gonna rush to kill the Deathlock, and then the Poison Blood is ha ha ha, it didn't work for you, and then try to finish the game that way. So his divine intervention was actually pretty huge. Even though I don't maybe it was the right play, but it definitely worked out in his favor. But I still feel like I'm massively in control of the game, especially now that I'm out of range of the ballista completely. Oh, and I'm not, but like my creatures are.
Yeah, yeah. And like he's gonna try and kill that Rajans with it, but that's not the worst thing to die.
He hits me and me alone with the ballista, and I just sit in that zone the entire game.
Oh, that's perfect. Ooh, a Seeking Dispel. Very nice against the Rhino Hide. Nicely done. That's a good hit.
Oh, so it actually was a regrowth. Cool.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
You win this time, Coach Shade.
Holy Mages and their regrowths, am I right? When I saw the vet belt, I was like, okay, he probably has regrowth on.
Yeah, I'm not expecting to
Oh,
do a lot of damage, but I
jeez.
got an insane roll.
Alright, so you go in for 7 dice, you get 9. It's a +2 on 7.
Is this why the second Tanglevine comes? You promised me more Tanglevines.
would be
I'm
perfect.
pretty sure this is where it comes in. I think.
Or get more creatures!
Oh, okay, yeah, no. Okay, I'm lying. But there is
Alright.
another Tanglevine, I promise you that.
I feel betrayed. I came here to see Tanglevines.
But I felt like another creature was more important, especially with piercing. I felt like the piercing was more important.
Oh, it's absolutely the correct move.
Cheetah goes in to attack this Guardian Angel. It's guarding. Guardian Angel gets out of the way, and the Cheetah does get out of the way of the Counter-Strike. That's exactly what you want. And these cheetahs, man, they are going to my Beast Slinger. I'm telling you right now, this is awesome to watch.
Maybe Makunda is finally viable.
Right? I love
I mean,
the cats.
Mukunda's a bit too slow for this build. I got
Makunda is a
Sapphire
bit
out
too
for
slow
like
for every
5.
build. Makunda is
Yeah.
too slow for every build.
Right?
Or what, I think it was 7 because I had 4. Yeah, I had 4 birds that were dead, so I got him out for 7.
Cheetahs have made 3 saves in my game, Shark says. And Severe made 2. Oh my.
Servier is one of those creatures where I think he's always been viable.
Oh yeah.
The only thing that holds Servier back is that it's only 4 dice, and you can get that from a Timberwolf. Yes, the Timberwolf doesn't have a dodge, doesn't double move, and isn't elusive, but like the damage output is the same.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
And that always makes you feel stupid about playing Servier. And if you try to buff up Servier with a Lion Savagery or something like that, he A looks at you strange and said, "What lion? I'm a panther."
Yeah,
B,
right?
the opponent does start to kill him because there's always some tools to kill a creature with a defense.
Oh yeah.
So that's why Knight of Westlock are pretty cool because you don't have to buff them. Because if you buff them, they get so strong that the opponent can actually dedicate some resources into crushing through their defenses.
Mm-hmm.
But they are so strong, you don't need to buff them.
So the way that my book works here is I have 3 phases pretty much. Phase 1 is the birds, phase 2 is cheetahs, and then phase 3 is Lavorg, and I have a bunch of enchantments to just buff him and give him. I have like Ballad of Courage, like stuff like that. So I just try to make him that he's usable in my strategy, and I cast him for very cheap. Typically, I casted him way earlier than I normally would, but I felt like because of the fact that he was 7 mana, and because of the armor and the vet belt that Red has, I felt like it was appropriate to do. But typically he's my phase 3, and I try to like get him pretty massive.
That's really cool. Do you have more Rajan's Furies in your book?
Nope.
You did
I
2 in the
had
Scout?
4, and I decided that I would drop down to 2 on the scout.
Very cool. Very cool.
I felt like because of the fact that the extra fury, yeah, it made it a little cheesier early, but most people, because I play this always, I don't like, people know I play it,
Okay, I see
so
what
it's
you're saying.
easy to
Yeah.
prepare for it.
Yeah.
So I'd rather have backup plans to go longer. That's why I have like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3.
I dig it. I dig it. Looks like we are going to see this Sunfire Amulet get casted. All right. All right, playing that long game card.
Yeah, it's like Region 1.
Exactly.
He thinks I'm gonna melt
Basically,
down here, which I was
it's
thinking
additional
of.
region.
Ooh, and he
Oh, there
does.
comes the heal.
He does heal. Rolls 10 out of 8. Very
Yeah,
nice.
he rolls insane.
I mean,
Did you get PTSD here?
A little bit. I was a little worried once he got that 10 heal. I know what he was doing, but I feel like his follow up just kept him losing because I feel like his target. You'll see what he does. I feel like his what he prioritizes is a little for the rest of the game.
One thing about heals is you need to use heals when you have enough board presence to actually change momentum during the time you board with that heal. And right now he doesn't have that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like the ballista, if the ballista was in his zone as we discussed before, it would have a world of difference right now. And then he goes for the Fury with his mage.
Oh, the Fury. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, you rolled slightly above on your charges against him, so him rolling above just means this is more of a even dice roll game, in my opinion.
Yep,
Um,
exactly.
Attacking the Fury.
I disagree with completely.
Man,
I think that lost in the game.
It's because he has no
personally.
mana, and I get why he's doing that. I almost feel
But
like
he-
it would be better if he waited for a cheetah to use a defense.
I mean,
Like-
he got out of the Slaverg range with
Oh,
that, so that's okay.
yeah.
So if we're talking about attacking a cheetah instead, he should have gone for the left cheetah, so he also gets out of the range for the Slaverg, but then he gets out of the range for the ballista. So if you consider all these
Fighting,
things,
but it's not guarding yet, and I'm like, oh wait a minute. Well, I'll just Tanglevine the Paladin instead.
I love
I'm
it.
so used to it, the Guardian Angel
Oh,
guarding
man.
Yeah.
always. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna do it. I'm like, oh wait a minute, it's flying.
You know, I actually do take it back. I actually think attacking into this Rajan Fury was good because next round he can attack that scout. Granted, I'm not sure how he's gonna play this longer game. He's just gonna heal through, I guess, and try to recover that way. I think that's his plan here.
did you just forget that he has a guard there?
Yeah, he did.
He guarded himself.
Oh, he did.
Yes,
Yeah.
but with the Tanglevine. Go Shade.
Yes.
Was
Yeah,
it actually legal?
No, if you're guarding as a pest, you can still attack that guard.
I know I'm not forced to, but
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
he's still guarding. So.
Guards basically override all the rules in terms of
Yep,
play,
yep.
you know.
And I rolled pretty much no damage.
Yeah, I agree that ballista now attacking your mage. That's a wasted. I mean, I guess it's dealing some damage, but I really think in the long term that ballista attack on the scout would have been better. You know, one of the cheetahs that have defended, maybe even Slavorg.
Slavorg.
In this case, Slavorg.
You can't pronounce that letter, can you? Those two dots over the O make it an Ö instead of an O. So that's Slavorg, if you
Slavorg.
say it correctly.
Oh,
But I think
bad.
that's something English natives can't actually pronounce.
No, it's Slavorg. That's how it's said.
So it's Slavorg. Was that what you're saying?
Slavorg.
Slavorg.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna be able to remember that, but I appreciate you trying to teach me.
I'm not trying to tell you how to do it. I was just thinking. So that's how you pronounce it. No, wait, that's how you don't pronounce
yes.
it, and I know why.
You are 100% right. And let me just say, I'm gonna be awful at pronouncing it every time.
I don't mind. I don't think anyone minds. Slavorg cling.
I threw a hidden rust on him because I needed to just lower his armor, to get through the vet belt and his forearmor. I had to just lower it, and I still feel like I'm in control personally. He's Tanglevine, so it's not like he can go after the scout really. He doesn't. It's my initiative, so he doesn't have ballista to do anything with, and yeah, my goal is just to try to because his life now. We're now pretty much tied. I think I'm at 13 if I can read it right. So right now, damage wise, I'm actually losing, but I still feel like I'm in control completely.
Yeah, I mean, damage doesn't always mean you're losing if you have less or more damage. Really, board state is really a big thing.
Yeah, now I feel like the reverse. Like before, my board state was pretty much nothing, and now I feel like it reversed
hmm
Yep.
personally.
I mean,
If we-
casual like Iron Vine or Regrowth Belt here would actually be really nice for your mage here. But I mean, just summoning more creatures would also win you the game. We have so much mana to work with too. There's so many options you have. Yeah, Master putting in the Yeah, we don't really have what is it like a e you know those types of alphabets in the English language. So letters, I should say. Just say just say it fast enough, Sleverg. Okay, fair enough, Shark. I appreciate the tips.
But then again, as a German, I have a problem with those Scandinavian with the crossed O.
Yeah,
When I have
yeah.
that slashed crossed O, I never know.
You
what
know
to
the
do with that.
pain. You know the pain that I'm having right now.
Yep. Yeah, Netmaster is actually Danish, so he's
I appreciate it, Nab.
even more familiar with that Scandinavian thing. I don't know what Slavic is actually from, but it even to me as a German, it doesn't sound like something that originates from a German namespace. Sounds Scandinavian to me as well.
It's the Mage Wars language. I'm not really sure.
So what do
Mage
you
Wars
think that red should do right now? If you were red, what would you do?
I'd definitely go and try to kill the scout. Honestly,
He
he
has
still
a
hasn't
Tangle
played.
Vine on him, so how would he go about doing that? Do you think
If
he has
I
to
was
teleport?
if I was red dice, I would try to kill the cheetahs, but I would have been trying to kill the cheetahs for 2 turns
Yeah.
already. So right now you have 3 creatures profiting from the buffs, and you have 3 buffs. So
Ooh, a
know, at this point-
meltdown. Nullified?
Oh yeah, this turn, I just wanted to get as many equipment as possible. And I knew Meltdown wouldn't do what I want it to do. Obviously, he can choose,
Oh, he chose to
Um,
discard leather from it. Interesting.
and he's still deciding. He gets rid of one more, I believe. But
Oh, he gets rid of the sword. Oh, wow.
which I wanted to get rid of the vet belt and the sword with my next card. You might be able to think of what it is.
I
But
actually agree getting rid of the sword. Wanna know
Because-
why?
because,
The sword-
nothing-
Because it's not the lightsaber.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Upheaval's
do-
the
You see an upheaval against the Tinglevine.
Yes.
Okay, very cool.
Yep.
Very
Yep.
cool.
well. Upheaval has to be level 1, right? So it can't be used on the Fury.
Yeah, that's right. Keeping the Sunfire is probably your best bet. I mean, it's gonna basically say, okay, that meltdown we evened out in terms of how that worked.
Oh, I learned something here. I didn't know that if he's Tanglevined, I can ignore him in the terms of being hindered.
Yeah.
He just told me. He's telling me right now. I'm like, I know he needs to get rid of it, and I'm like, oh, well, that's good to know. It's a combo I
Okay.
didn't know I had.
Yeah, that's why I told you to get Tanglebands.
Tinglevine.
Yeah, I put
I mean, one of the
3 in the
reasons.
book. The moment I put 3 in the book before I had 0.
Yep.
It's such a good spell. Ooh, and the rapid dismantle. So basically, you said, okay, what are you gonna choose to get rid of? Now I have to get rid
Wait.
of these two.
Wait! You could have gotten rid of the radiant breastplate, couldn't you?
Yes.
It's level 1.
Is it level 1? It is level 1.
It's only level
Okay,
1.
then you can't. Yeah. I'm so used to because of the Hoberg and the the scale thingy for the siren. Those are level 1 at 6 mana. So I thought all the 6 mana armors are level 1.
So
But
here,
never mind.
Red made a mistake, and he wanted to get rid of the gauntlets over the Vorpal Blade. You'll see it in the chat in a moment.
Oh, okay.
And I said in response, I'm like, you can do that, but then my targets will switch for
Oh,
the
okay.
Crumble
That makes sense. Yeah.
because I plan to get rid of the sword no matter what.
Yep.
That's fair. That's really fair to say.
I'm
that,
like,
yeah.
you can get yourself a leather and take out the gauntlets, or keep the gauntlets and lose the leather. Your choice.
Yep.
I think it's totally a reasonable thing to ask if he's going to ask to change too. Well, now that that's happened, I suppose as red dice moving to the left one to get in Battleforge range would actually make some sense here. After, of course, the cheetahs go.
But I also think you were fair game to deny it from him right here, because it already impacted another decision.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. In this
yeah,
situation, for sure, power. Like, if you just said no, I totally would have been like, yeah, that makes sense.
I'll be like, go ahead, but then I'm changing my decision as well. So
Yes. That's also, but that always gets convoluted when you change something and then it changes the decisions afterwards.
Yeah.
At that point, I just treat it like an honest mistake and take it.
So, like, I wasn't trying to, be mean or anything, but I didn't want him to have the piercing.
Yep.
I think it's totally reasonable. And here's that cheetah not getting a charge bonus. What did red cast? Okay, there's lots of defensive rolls going on. Defenses are being made everywhere.
4 damage. 4 damage onto a cheetah. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. Am I not getting sounds? Rolling sounds? Whatever.
I'm not getting any sounds.
And then a 9 dice roll on 7 dice from Slavorg.
From the
6 of
stream.
it being crit.
That's really nice.
Yep.
That rapid dismantle follow-up was really big, because getting rid of
Yeah,
that,
I knew Meltdown on his own wasn't
yeah.
enough. Like, if he could have just taken all the life damage, because he has this amulet, like, he could have just, I don't care, whatever.
Mhm.
I'm in control with all, I can't take damage. And I was like, alright, well, I have to follow up with something, and just a single dissolve isn't enough.
Yeah. A really solid move.
Oh yeah, so the entire game, as I said before, I'm not used to using Scout, so every time so far, besides one, he has had to move it back himself. And we made it a joke where he's like, hey, it's a race. Who can do it first? And I'm like, yeah, I'm losing the race, I
Cute.
guess.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, this Sunfire Amulet and Regrowth are doing work. Like, for 5 or 6 mana, he's recovered so much damage. And I'm just going to skip through this planning phase, because I think we're all just kind of waiting to see what happens here. I mean, red dice not being in range of his Battleforge is a problem. He moved over here. He really does need to kill the scout. And honestly, like, in Paladins, sometimes I take boulders or rocks, and this would be one of those scenarios. Like, boulders and rocks in any book, kind of reasonable. And this is the kind of situation where why that would be why you do that.
I actually take fireballs in my paladins instead of boulders.
Fireballs, yeah, that makes sense.
Because you're playing for burns with some of your cards anyway.
I was gonna say against Druid would be a
just
good reason.
Ties into each other. Also, you get variety between your light spells for dazes and stuns and your fire spells for more damage on the effect dice. Whereas if you go for the boulder and light spells, they tend to do the same thing, just with different amounts of dice and range.
So really unfortunate that he used Ballista on the cheetah, and my cheetah was able to
dodge it.
That's why I asked that question earlier.
Yeah, red dice really can't see. It can't really recover here. It seems like. And here comes the pillar. A really smart play to kill this cheetah. Okay.
Yep.
And completely demolishes it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a huge roll. 4 dice and gets 7 damage. Very nice.
I mean, we're kind of used to the pillar being
ridiculous.
A decisive play.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so my goal is just to get rid of the guards outside of the paladin, and then Slavorg again. As I said, he's currently my way I'm trying to win
Ooh, you
because
get
he
that
has the
slam.
piercing that I need.
Well, know how you
And I
could
got
have
the slam.
That
you
slam
could
is
have just
so good.
circumvented all the guarding with a tangle line.
This is as yeah.
I see
Oh,
what you're doing there.
wow.
Yeah, you see what I'm doing, Jason. You see what I'm doing.
I see what you're
I
doing.
feel like I had to use it. I was like, how can I win this game? And I'm like, I think this is required.
Paying the extra spellbook point, but now it's bloodthirsty. Okay, but why would you do that?
You're going to see why he did it.
Yeah, you're gonna see it.
Is it a certain exploit of a certain card that might need to be updated?
Yeah, there is.
Love it. Okay, we do see a Seek Dispel to get rid of a Nullify. That was really smart out of Red, just to be like, I'm testing to see if you have probably that specific card. He might also be thinking if it's a Rust or something.
And there comes the strike.
Yup.
Oh man.
I wonder where you learned about that trick.
Thanks, I
He spends his
appreciate
action.
it.
He spends his action. Will he do it? Oh, it's Tanglevine. Love it.
Yeah, I don't do it yet. I wanted
that
to
is
make
not
sure
a
that
guardian angel. It's a,
Well, it's slams with incap.
Oh, it's yeah, you're
still
right.
on the ground.
Sorry, you're right. It's slammed. My bad. I still would love to see Red just move over one. When you're playing,
What would you have done if you didn't get the slam? Because then the angel flies again. Who was the Tanglewine meant for during your planning phase? And how much damage did the just do?
Whoa.
Lot.
Roll 6.
He is
Okay.
completely demolishing Slaverg.
This-
Completely
Yeah,
demolishing him.
This
the pillar
pillar.
doing work. 10 shouldn't 10 be an effect?
Yes, it's a burn, right? Yeah. Did you roll that burn?
We will in a moment, I believe.
No, you did. Here, one burn was removed.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, resolved it right after. Very cool. Okay.
Yep.
So the burn didn't do anything. That being said, he did roll above. I mean, honestly, like when it comes to dice, I think it's actually decently even right now based on what I'm seeing.
Exactly. We have a pretty even game.
I mean,
I just was lucky, and the high dice rolls killed the knight.
yeah.
But
it's-
overall, it's pretty even.
It seems like his rolls are rolling high, and oftentimes, like that cheetah hit, it was above what he needed to kill, so it's just like
Yeah, but then-
unfortunate, you know?
Didn't you have another cheetah hit that turn anyway?
Yeah.
I don't quite remember, but I think that knight was toast anyway with one more attack.
Yeah, no matter what, it was pretty much gonna die. I mean, he could have got really lucky and it would have lived, but
Yeah.
on average, the knight was dead.
So let's see.
Here I'm
Slaverg-
pretty sure that Slaverg will die. I know if I was red, I would focus on trying to kill him, personally. And I think that's probably the right play for him to make. So my goal is I need to get as much damage out of Slaverg as possible. So now here's where the exploit will come in. I'm pretty sure because this has to be when he dies.
I love it. Let's go ahead and just other deployment. Cool.
Let's reveal some background story here. So I tested the whole interaction of using a strike with Bloodthirsty against Power of Mind. Because I was going, this is a practice game, I'm going to practice something, I'm going to play against red dice. I want to see how if the opening works. And I played that against him, and I absolutely demolished Power of Mind in that game.
I was also playing Elementalist running only Magma Golems, so it wasn't meant to be a serious game. And he
Yes, it wasn't meant to be a serious game anyway. But in that game, I revealed the whole mechanic to him. And then, in some later chats, he promised to me he wouldn't use Flame Strike on the Bloodthirsty
it wasn't Flame Strike, okay?
and won red dice. And now he uses the Thunder Strike
It's not the flame strike.
as a loophole to get out of that promise.
I was gonna use the actual book against red, And then Jason said that was the book he was planning to use against Red. So I said I wouldn't play it then. I'd let him have the honors. So technically, the honors of playing the book still went to Jason.
And what's even worse, when in my game against Red
my
Eyes, I
God,
didn't
you
get a single
guys.
flame strike out.
Yeah, see, it didn't even matter.
So let's talk about that combo really quick, because there's exchanges happening here. There's healing happening. So Lightning Strike, it specifies you can't get melee plus, but you can. Bloodthirsty does not give you the melee bonus. It gives you extra dice. So the loophole is obviously you can use Lightning Strike for 5 mana
Pause
to
it
get
here.
this 6-die attack.
It's also even more value if you have piercing. So Slavberg is actually a pretty good target for it.
Absolutely.
Good target for it.
So-
and with all his armor, he has no armor against me right now because of it. I force pushed him here because I want the charge bonus and the Tangle Vine on the stunned Guardian Angel. I'm just trying to put in as much damage in him as possible.
Yeah,
Even
that
though I
makes
do
sense.
put him closer to the scout, so that could go against me, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be able to just completely demolish his life right
I mean,
here.
every other direction puts him in the range of his forge. So that's
So-
a trade-off.
Yeah.
I think you
I
made the right
agree.
decision.
Hinder him while
So
you're in
I
the
went
corner.
with it.
You know, he's still gaining a life a turn and regenning too, so it's still a lot to recover that he's getting for free. So at this point in time, yeah, I agree. Just put him in a corner and hinder him as much as possible. I'm just gonna hit play here. So anyone that's watching this tournament, we're not changing cards until the end of the tournament. Most likely, we're going to prevent Bloodthirsty because it's kind of ridiculous when you think about the combos you can do. But for now, it's one of those things that I enjoy seeing games and seeing if it is actually broken or not to do that. But I'm just kind of liking it right now for now. Yeah, so it's not really decided if we should change it or not. I'm sure Jason has other opinions and if it should, but I'd love to see how it plays against all the meta builds and stuff in the higher leagues. You know what I mean?
We're gonna find out.
Yep.
Shitty goes in with 7, gets 7 damage. Very nice. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think. Is this too strong to have Bloodthirsty for these?
A, we can't really say that yet, and B, we also have melee attack spells that get the melee bonus.
That's true.
So that's
true. Yeah.
comparably abusable.
Jeez, you rolled 10 on 9 dice, getting 10 damage through with Slavorg.
With the charge, of course.
Mhm.
He's rolling a lot of dice.
Yeah, 9 dice, piercing 2 against 3 armor. I mean,
And
that
the
rapid
Bloodthirsty
dismantle.
too.
The rapid
Piercing
dismantle is
3.
brilliant.
He has piercing 3.
Piercing 3.
Piercing
You're right.
3. He has no armor against me.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the rapid dismantle is brilliant there. If he just did like a meltdown or a double meltdown, I actually think he wouldn't be nearly as close, damage-wise, to death.
Yeah, if I rolled average on the strike, I would have had exact damage, by the way, on killing him. I was so sad. I was like, oh, if I only rolled average. But I've been rolling, it's pretty sure, yeah, he brings up the knight here.
Yeah. I mean, that force push is also really good, because obviously Pillar doesn't have an effect now.
Yep.
And I'm just going to skip through this really fast, because this is looking... He has 5 damage left. It's his initiative. It may not be over, but it's looking really bad for Red here. There is the heal.
So the scale on the top of this
Oh! 9 heal on the minor.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I was having PTSD from Jason with that heal. I was like, not again, because I know Slaverg is gonna die this turn, not again.
That was ridiculous.
And you're not really getting back on that.
I do want to point out that there was a misplay last round, and that is I don't think Slavor could actually leave this zone that he was in, but that I'm not sure if how big of a difference that would make.
How's it bloodthirsty?
Yeah, because he's
And
bloodthirsty.
he can attack the angel
And the
as long as
angel
it's
is tangled.
tangled.
Yeah. Just want to point that out. But you know,
Ah,
whatever.
that is a good point.
Ballista comes in, deals some damage. I mean, it might have made a difference in the game. I'm not sure, to be honest.
Well, that heal he just had, and I hit him for 10 damage. It
Yeah.
probably would have made a huge difference.
Yeah. I mean, the fact is that when you guys don't call for a judge necessarily to watch your game, or if we're not available, you know, the stuff like this happens is if everyone agrees it's okay, then it is what it is, you know?
We are not gonna disqualify the game and tell you to
Yeah.
play the game again.
Exactly.
I mean, especially if you're refusing spectators, you
Yeah.
basically
Yeah, the fact I don't know why Red doesn't allow spectators. It's like what?
he just doesn't like it.
I don't get it. Like I don't care.
Yeah, I
Then
mean,
it's
honestly,
then it's his own responsibility to see if his opponent's making a mistake.
you know, we've never seen cheaters in the online platform. It could exist, I guess, but like it's one of those things that like I'm sure if like Zod or Biblo or you know you Jason were in, you probably would have been like, hey, you can't do that, you know? Because a lot of times when I'm not like asked to be there, I just join just to get the replay, and I'm not actually like paying attention. You know?
But I still have 2 more birds and
Yeah.
1 more cheetah, and I pet that
Ooh,
cheetah
you pet
too.
it. I actually
Yup.
really like the idea of petting the cheetah.
Petting the cheetah is huge in my opinion.
It gets him from possibly dies to 1 hit to basically guaranteed not to die in 1 hit, and that can make a huge difference.
But yeah, the game definitely would have been extended, but I still don't think Reddit was in a position to turn the game around completely without casting more creatures.
Yeah, at this point,
And I had enough in my book still to, even if he had 9 damage less because of the Slavorg, then you know, I still think I would have wanted to would have taken a couple more turns.
yeah, I don't want to reveal Red's book here. If he has things like boulders in his book, that would be his best chance of winning, of just spamming you with tons of attack spells. That would probably be the only way I could see him winning. But I agree, if he doesn't have that kind of stuff in his book, then I think you're just gonna run away with this game. I'm gonna go ahead.
Yeah,
and
I've taken a lot. I've
forward
taken
this.
like 10 damage from the ballista so far.
Yeah.
He just targets me with the ballista, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm gonna sit here and I'll tank it. I don't care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is where the casual like regrowth is really good for any mage, and that is, you know, he's only dealing 1 damage on average, in terms of like every 2 turns, instead of 5 to your
Yep.
Beastmaster.
It's 5 dies into 4 healing.
Mm-hmm. Gonna just fast forward because I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, the problem that I have with this book and stuff like that is that I feel like spending those actions to get regrowth is just too punishing. I'd rather just try to keep on forwarding my
That's
board
fair.
state
No,
and
that's fair,
using
too.
my life as a resource just to tank up damage so I can just eventually have what this you can see now, which is just, you know, the board state's mine. Oh, and I just put you'll see what I put onto the cheetah. I think it's pretty good.
So Luminous
it-
Glass kills Slavorg here.
It's not a
Yep.
savagery. I would
No.
expect a savagery.
It's better than that.
Oh, Ballad of Courage, very cool. I love it. I love it. I love it. Very cool play. Just kind of ensuring that, all right, if you run, I'm gonna go after you. Gets 11 damage on 9 dice. Very nice.
Damn.
Yeah. And that is that game. Yeah, no, in my Beastslinger, I also like don't I shrug off the regen too. Just because it's like getting more creatures out and getting those charge bonuses is just such a big deal. I love the cheetah play.
Wait, Koshade, I just remembered you were in the game and you didn't even catch the bloodthirsty thing in the
Yeah, he
game.
already
Yeah,
said
well,
that.
yeah, look at that.
He doesn't
Yeah.
always follow every single turn.
Yeah. If I'm asked to judge, then I'll be like, then I'll be like, yeah, okay, I can sit and actually watch. But otherwise, I just join in to get replays. Which I guess I had the replay, but I don't know, it wasn't in my folder. So sorry. If you ever see me in a game and you're watching this, I'm not always there. If you ping me for rules.
Anyhow, cool game.
I really enjoyed that game. The
I
Sunfire
actually
Emulator.
think you deserved that win. The dice, I'd say, both of you got pretty good rolls. I mean, the Ring of Fire was in different situations. That kind of Ring of Fire is absolutely crushing, and you just still had the
Mhm.
board presence, or built the board presence to still eke out that win. I think the Divine Intervention was a pretty cool play.
I agree.
And from then on, it was just the Paladin was fighting against the odds. He never really had. He got some good stalling turns out, but he didn't have anything to gain by stalling. And that kind of just. He fought valiantly, he fought honorably, and in the end, he died.
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed the cheetahs. That gave a whole new perspective on how I look at this card. And Power, damn. I hope you advance because that's such a cool play.
If I beat Griff, I will be, unless
No way.
I don't know how we're gonna do a 3-way tie. That's possible.
Oh,
My
yes.
group, our group is so awesome. I love it.
Oh,
We
man.
have a
Red
three-way
Dice,
tie.
Red Dice, if you're hearing this, both of us are rooting for you.
Yeah.
So bad.
Yeah. Please beat Griff. Don't get cheese like Jason did.
That'd be so funny to watch. I definitely think Red has a really good chance of beating Griff, just as a personal, like, between the two players. I really like the Scout. I love the Bloodthirsty play. So funny. And the spell up. Do you mind if I look at your book?
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
now?
Go ahead.
Okay.
I don't mind.
I mean, we're already looking at the book.
I know, but
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
you
But I
know.
don't mind.
Oh, you do have a rock in here. Very cool. And Stalagmite, interesting.
Yeah, I put in the wrong version of Hurl Rock, so
Yeah,
my
it's
bad.
fine. Whatever.
Yeah, I have very little attack spells.
Oh yeah, you don't even put anything to regen at all. Very cool.
Nope. I focus on basically removing guards as much as possible.
Regrowth and Iron Vine and Regrowth spell are one spell book.
I have 4 Rouse the Beast.
I don't know if you're looking for tips at all.
I just want to disagree with that at this point. An Iron Vine as a singular, just use it to have it spell. I think it's so valuable. I mean, you got
So
to
in that
20.
game, what action would I have not done instead for the Iron Vine? That's my question.
That's always the question. And in this game, I mean, you won without it.
And in
I'm
my
just saying
opinion, in
you-
this game, it was a wasted action. It's my opinion.
Yes,
So
probably was, but I personally also don't like the Iron Vine. I either go for a lot of equipment or for almost none. But I think in a nature mage, I always bring some form of regeneration.
Honestly, I think the fact that he didn't have attack spells to take advantage of your 0 armor Beastmaster was pretty lucky, and that's.
And I
the
do
only
have
reason...
2 blocks too. Like I do have 2 blocks if I need to worry about that.
But when do you use them? Because you're at 21 damage right now. That's a 2 attacks threshold where you could die.
You know, the only reason why I'd suggest Iron Vine is because you don't have any armor on and no regen, so having at least 1/1 is better than 0/0 when you're dealing with a suddenly, like, I'm switching gears and getting aggressive. That being said, you obviously won the game, so like it's until you see a scenario like that, it may not be something you ever need. I don't know, you know, but that's really the only thing I have to say right now about it. I mean, it's possible that a piercing totem would be good for your later game strat, because if you end up going to your cheetah phase or your Mukunda phase, not Mukunda, Slavorg, maybe having additional piercing on them would be good.
You're gonna laugh, but I've been thinking about that the whole week.
That's fair.
I've been
That's fair,
thinking, like,
yeah.
if I was playing that book, what would
Mhm.
my ratio between charge and PS be?
Yeah, because it's always an interesting dynamic.
And I do
Um,
have the incantation for piercing if I need it. I also have one that gives bloodthirsty, I believe.
Very cool. Yeah, the Bloodthirsty Strike, I love it. Because you could Bloodthirsty Strike them and then Flame Strike them, theoretically, if you
Yeah, that was the
are
idea.
out of actions,
Stop
you know?
telling the people about my secrets.
Sorry.
The secret's out.
Secret's out. You're ready, tournament. Otherwise, I would, if you want any other advice, I think there actually probably could be some trading of some of your incantations to get just some more creatures that are level 1. But whether or not that's necessary, it's not really, I don't know. I don't know. It's just kind of what I look at.
I just like how he starts it with pressure, then sees how the opponent reacts, and when that first wave
Yes.
of pressure is gone, he's got 2 backup plans.
Yes,
He's got a
I
backup
love
plan
that.
with a backup plan.
I
And
absolutely
that's
love that. This is what I'd call a really good book.
So yeah, want to see another game of that book against the Paladin?
All right,
Want
we're
to do
gonna,
the prequel to the sequel?
yeah.
Oh,
So
man, I
that's
feel so bad.
so that's gonna be in another video. So for everyone in the YouTube world, check us out on other recordings. If you guys are on the stream, we're gonna keep streaming. But before I end this recording, any last words from either of you guys?
Good game.
Yeah,
And
too.
both of you, good game actually.
Yeah, I actually
No,
really
this
liked
is
both
great.
plays. Everybody on YouTube, thank you for watching this video. We're gonna be doing as many games as we can. I know sometimes I don't get all the games in the tournament, so we're just gonna try and get as many as possible. If you guys aren't part of our community, there's a link in the description of this video that leads to the Discord. We're a happy bunch of people. We're always looking to get new players in, and it's all free, this online platform here. It might be a little annoying to figure out for the first 3 games or so, but there's always someone willing to just help out and just kind of teach you. If you love this game and want to play, just come hang out. Anyway, thanks for joining us. Jason, Power, wonderful casting. Power, great game. Red Dice, that was actually really close. I actually think you had a really good chance of winning in a lot of different situations in that. But see you guys in the next tournament game. Bye.